Today, we're gonna cook an Argentinian classic, asado, on a Kamado barbecue. Today, we're diving deep into the heart and soul of Argentina's culinary tradition, the mighty Asado de Tira. This beef rib cut is a national treasure back home, historically popular because of its wide availability and affordability. If you ask an Argentinian what's the king of barbecue cuts, you will most likely hear asado. When choosing your asado, look for ribs that are loaded with meat rather than just fat. Skip those fatty ribs and go straight for the ones topped with a generous layer of muscle. Think of it as the pork belly of the cow. This thick muscle will transform during cooking into a mouth-watering, tender delicacy. The secret is not to rush it. You can sear it and then cook it slow. That fat is beautiful and it's gonna melt and it's gonna infuse all its rich flavor into the meat. Let's get cooking. The first step is to start the fire. I normally do this around half an hour before I'm planning to put the meat on the barbecue, just to let the coals lit completely. While I wait for the fire to be ready, I take the meat out of the fridge and I salt it. I'll describe the method in the video description. We'll use a generous amount of salt for our asado. Okay, we'll make sure we cover everything, the top, the sides, and the bone. The salt is always first. That's a must for me. The key variables for making a proper asado is, number one, getting a proper piece of meat. So I really like these cuts because we have a lot of meat here, not a lot of fat, depending on how. So these are called the short ribs in Australia. People never put them in the barbecue unless you are from South America. Would you imagine? You are missing out big time. The way I use the Kamado for doing Argentinian traditional asados is a little bit special. I just came out with my own way of using it. I think it's different to most people. Because in Argentina, when we cook asado, it's about being able to control the heat 100%. And how we achieve that is that we normally have a source of coal separated from the grill. So we are able to drag little pieces of coal under the grill as required. I normally wait for the coals, they need to be all white, and then I'm gonna move some pieces to the side, right? And then I'm gonna put only half of the grill here. That's where I'm gonna cook the meat. So effectively, really, I'm using half of the real estate that the barbecue offers me. The bone is always facing down, facing the heat, because at the beginning is when the heat is the strongest, and we want that those bones are gonna get really hot and they're gonna help us cook the meat just over the bone. Okay, I have pretty much no coals straight underneath the meat, and that's because I don't need it. I want it to be hot but not crazy. I don't want to burn my meat. We're gonna sear it at the beginning and then we want it to go slow. So more or less I did like 30 minutes on the bone, 15 minutes, so it's half on the other side, and then I'll do maybe 5 minutes on each side. Let's see how we go. That's should give us like a pinky center, juicy, and that's how I like it, but that's personal preference really. This is the best part. The flavor, the juices really transport me back to my childhood. And this is how you should live a short rib. You have that little membrane on the side of the bone, like it's crackly and it's salty and it's delicious. That's it. See you in the next one.